as you all know, we're doing a wonderful series this month that Spirit asked me to do almost a year ago. And it is the idea that we learn so much from the life lessons that others walk. And David shared his last week. Did you all enjoy?
Yes.
And so I have asked, actually Spirit asked all of these three that we'll share to do their stories. It is not the totality of their lives, but it's a story of something that they have walked that hopefully will be beneficial to you. So Jason is coming forward, Jason Guiliano, and he's going to share an aspect of his story. It's an emotional issue that I'm sure we're all very familiar with. So Jason is going to share with us healing anger. Please welcome Jason Guiliano.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for welcoming me so warmly. All right. Who here speaks anger? Show of hands. Those of you I see, the rest of you are liars. Okay. All right, they're just not admitting it. I am fluent in that language. I am artistic with it. That has oozed from my pores. I dream in this language. And I was going to tell you that it wasn't always that way. And then I realized sitting here, no, it has been. I was a very happy little boy, very independent little boy, is what I was going to tell you. But take the happy out. I was an independent little child of a single parent. I lived with my mother. And she did the best that she could, but I was never her son. She was never my mother in that aspect of the nuclear mother-son relationship, so much so that by the time I was 2 and a half, I was packing my bags, saying, I'm out. I'm leaving. My dad lives a couple of blocks down the street. That's where I'm going to go. No, you can't do that, you can't do that. I would see my dad pretty regularly, and I remember seeing him and being happy. And then I remember being brought back to my house and not being happy. And this went on for a while. My mom remarried, had my sister. I'm 4.5 years old. I'm out. You have somebody to replace me. You don't need me anymore. I'm free to go, right? No, it wasn't. Didn't stop me from packing my bags every weekend, though. One of these weekends, I'm going to wear you out. Sure enough, Father's Day weekend, I was right about to turn 7. I wore her out. I wore her down. That's it. It's time for me to go. She gave in, ran to the phone. Dad, it's time. Come pick me up. I remember her sitting there at the stairs when my dad pulled up, just in tears. It's be okay. Thank you, is what I said. And I left. And for the next almost 7 years, 6 years, I lived with my father. We had a 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. We shared the same bed until I was 10. I did not grow up in means, but I was happy. At this time in my life, I was happy. I saw my mother every other weekend, obligatory. She had, she'd remarried again. There had been a divorce. She found another person, had 2 more kids, so they had 3 kids there. My sisters, we were all spread apart. I didn't necessarily live with them. Didn't want to live with them. Didn't miss not living with them. You're following here, right? But the time I hit 7th grade, towards the end of the year, my father got sick. my mom and stepdad were coming down here to move. They had asked me along the way beforehand, this was before my father got sick, they asked me if I would want to come. You know, you'll have your own room, you can live in Georgia. Where's Georgia? You know, you live in New York, it's New York, it's New Jersey, wasteland of Florida. And Florida is just New York South. I'm not a fan of Florida either. No, I don't want to come live with you guys. But, you know, my father, I think he knew he was sick. He didn't let on. So he would say, you know what, just go visit with him. Just see, I want you to be sure. I want you to stay here, but just be sure. All right, I'll go. I'll go with them when they sign the house. You know, they're buying a house. I'll go with them for the weekend for the signing. I left on Friday. I never made it back to my apartment in Brooklyn. I left that night, he went into the hospital. We flew back on Sunday. This was in May, so the end of May. Visited him in the hospital, but I was never able to go back to Brooklyn. My mom lived in Staten Island. I went to school in Brooklyn, so May was the end of my school year as well. In New York, you go into the end of June, so I never finished. But luckily, I was a very smart kid and all that, so that didn't really matter. But the thing that did matter was the day that my mom and stepdad actually packed up the house. They were having to go on a away party. They were leaving the next day, and I guess I was going with them. My father died that day. I'm screwed. All right. So until he actually passed away, I thought, all right, he's gonna get better. Boom. I'm gonna be back in Brooklyn. I'm gonna be back with my family. You know, my non-nuclear family. I had a Brooklyn mom. My dad's best friend was a woman, and you know, she helped raise me. She is one of my mothers today. She was my Brooklyn mom. I had an uncle, you know, my father's brother, who had a nuclear family that I would have loved to have been with. Well, I have a mother. I have a mother that's every other weekend. Now you have to go with her. Now, it wasn't even just you have to go with her. My mom didn't necessarily want me. She did not want me, but she wanted me not to be there with them, with my Brooklyn mama and my uncle. This was my first battle with true anger. I had no choice. So for me, and probably for a lot of you, anger comes from a lack of choice. I was not given the ability to not go, and I didn't understand why. I don't live with you. You have a family. You were leaving without me. If my father didn't get sick, we wouldn't be having this conversation. There's people that will take me. Why are you taking me? It seemed out of spite. I never got answers. Never. That made me angry. Not only did I not get answers, I didn't have any adult in my life because my mom made a point of cutting off communication with Brooklyn once we moved down here. We moved down here, my father died June 23rd, June 29th I was here, and that's after driving down for 3 days. Nobody thought that 13-year-old boy might need a little assistance with his whole life changing. I didn't know any different, so I just became destructive. I became angry at everything and everybody around me, which is always great being the angry New York kid in Ackworth, Georgia, in 1990. I spent a lot of that first 8th grade year in in-school suspension for whatever reason. I mean, my way of making friends is, you know, you say a couple of words. You think my accent's thick now, it's 27 years ago. People would say, hey, where are you from? I'm from Brooklyn. Oh, I knew that. Well, what'd you ask me for? And it couldn't understand why I wasn't making friends. So this continued for a while. I lost my family that I knew. Wasn't what you might think of as family. You know, you figure, hey, you got a stepdad, you got sisters, you're getting family now. They were never my family. Not for the, you know, I'm painting this picture as if my mom was a bad person. She wasn't a bad person. She wasn't a good mother. She wasn't. And we've had that conversation. I can say that to you because I've said that to her later on. Once I learned how to heal things. It was just she did the best that she could with what she was given. She was a great grandmother. I give her that. But as far as raising her children, there was a struggle. I struggled with the lack of not having a choice. I was confused. I went back to Brooklyn when I was finally able to go back, and I went for a visit that Christmas, but again, I'm still 13. You know, I fought to get there. I shouldn't have had to fight to get there. A few years later, I fought to get back there, and now I had questions. And the questions that I had still wasn't giving me answers. I'm still stuck here with no answers, no choice. I'm confused. Confusion for me led to anger. Anger led to destruction. I'm sure there's a pattern here with when we don't know what we're doing or we don't have the choice to do something, you know, that we feel that we can do. Well, I lashed out. Now, it took me a little bit to realize that this was not a productive way to handle things. As I got a little older, I met my current wife now. Now she tried to fill a spot of healing me because, you know, she's a healer. I was not ready to be healed. I didn't want to be healed. But, you know, there was somebody in my life. I didn't know where this was going to end up leading. But it did end up leading to the start of a family. Again, we got pregnant very young. No choice. I didn't have a choice in the matter. Per se, I had a choice in the matter. I went in willingly to the act of what could start a family, but I was not ready to start a family. I've been a freshman in college for 3 years now. Got myself into quite a bit of debt in those 3 years, struggled back and forth. Yeah, let's start a family. But it did. We started a family, and that took on a different voting. But all right, cool, I'm going to have a son. Look, maybe I didn't accept the choice to begin with, but it's happening. I lost my dad. Maybe I can be the dad. I can start the family, and this is going to be the start of the process. All right, I'm going to start having choices. Fast forward, my son's 4. We decide, we hadn't lived together yet. We had. What did I know about living together with your, you know, in a nuclear family? So this was fine, you know, not a big deal. This was normal. I mean, we see each other as much as possible. 4 years old, we decided to move in together. All right. A couple of months pass. She comes to me and says, I think we should have another child. That was my reaction, too. What? We just got here. Last 4 years, we haven't lived together. We're living together 2 months. You think we should have a child? I'm no longer a freshman, but I don't think I've graduated yet. Did I graduate? I did graduate. I had already graduated, but I had no career still yet. I was still figuring my own life out. She was figuring her life out. We're figuring out how it is to be a family. Let's not add to this mix. I have choice, right? Because she presented it to me. She presented it to me as a choice. I said, no, I've got choice. 2 months later, I'm pregnant. I thought we discussed this. You said I have a choice. You gave me a choice. I told you my choice. And you said, it doesn't matter. That was my mindset. It doesn't matter, my choice. Rewind back to the last time I didn't have a choice that affected my life. I don't have a choice. She'll tell you that was not a good pregnancy period for her. Dylan will tell you, my son will tell you that was not a good time in any of Everything was anger. Remember, fluent in anger. Welcome in baby Bella. That poor little girl. She's an angel. She had to be an angel to come into this. She chose. She chose to come into here, and at this point I couldn't tell you why she would have. And why do you want to sit in this world of anger? So, Carrie at the time was a nurse, and I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with nursing. It's 12-hour shifts, full-time, be 3 days a week, or you can work weekend nights and be full-time, which means weekend nights is 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Now, I've got a 5-year-old and a newborn that I'm angry. Like, keep in mind, I'm still angry. She's born, but I'm angry still. I've got a 5-year-old and a newborn that I'm going to be the sole parent for all weekend. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's because it's not just she's working at nights. Well, it's not like she's home during the day to help out with this. And when you're already angry that you even are in this position, it's a lot. It's a lot. She goes back to work. I know she didn't want to go back to work because she knew that I was not happy, and this was going to be, this could be destructive. I mean, she's walked through life with me in destruction already, so I mean, and now there's children involved, so who knows what's going to happen. I remember it very vividly. Me and Bella had not connected yet. Carrie went to work, back to work 10 weeks after giving birth, 12 weeks, whatever that is. That means now I have a 12-week-old that I am responsible for at night, feeding, bathing, diapers. I remember one night in particular, she's crying. I've got my 5-year-old son with me who's trying to take care of me, trying to keep me calm. I've got him, she's yelling at me. He's got this poor puppy dog. I just look at her and I just start yelling back at her. No, I'm not even saying anything. She's going, ah, I'm going, ah. We're walking. Now I do the things that you're supposed to do. You change the diaper. You stick a bottle in her mouth. I did those. She would suck on the bottle for like 4 seconds, and then she's going back to screaming. You gotta be hungry. Why? You do the thing on the wrist, right? You touch it with the... There's milk on my wrist. So why is it in your mouth and now you're crying still? So we're doing the walk around, you gotta walk with the baby, shake the baby, right? She's not hungry, she's dry, you're walking around, you've got the 5-year-old walking with me, we're walking around the apartment. Nothing. We're going outside, it's 11:30, midnight. I got the 5-year-old with me walking the apartment complex outside, and we're all just yelling at each other. She's yelling, I'm yelling at her, and he's like, it's okay, it's okay. Go back inside, she's got to be hungry, she's got to be hungry. I got this bottle again, trying it. Look, boom, boom, in her mouth, nothing. Little girl, I have no idea I changed the nipples. Everybody knows there's different little nipples on the bottle. Change that, do the wrist thing again. Still nothing, put it in her mouth. Nothing. Why are you not drinking? So finally I said, I'm going to show you how to do it. Put it in my mouth, and I'm sucking on this thing. Not a drop comes out. Not a drop. I can't say how I felt right at that moment because we're in church. But I was the biggest mud ever. I don't know what was wrong with it. I don't know if it was the bottle. I don't know if it was that type of nipple. Wherever I found a nipple that I sucked on until milk came out. And I put it in her mouth, and like in 2.2 seconds, that milk was gone. She was trying to talk to me. Now, I wasn't listening, because I was too busy angry. I was too busy to see and to hear. And I looked at her at that point, and I said, I promise you, I will never not hear you again. I will listen to you. This was the start of maybe I need help. I might need a little assistance. Now Bella, I will tell you, it is now 13, and she is the person in my life that at any point in time is able to talk to me, is able to calm me if I'm upset about anything, is able to just sit there with me and say, hey dude, it's all right. You know, you don't say that your kids are your best friend, but you know, if she was a full-grown adult, she'd be my best friend. You know, as it is, we connected that night, and we have carried that to this point, and I hope from this point on. That was the start of saying, hey, look, you need to go find some help. Now, and the reason why I know that is because Carrie and I did not last. I was still angry with her. I loved this little girl. She came into our lives. I didn't get over the fact that you didn't give me a choice. So. Now later on in life, as you can get smart, you can realize, oh, you know, we're all metaphysical Christians. We didn't really have a choice. Carrie didn't have a choice. Bella was coming. Bella said, hey, I'm coming. You guys are going to be my parents. 27-year-old Jason didn't know that there wasn't a choice, and 27-year-old Jason was no longer angry at Bella, but she was the only person that I was not angry at. Even poor little Dylan, who helped me. I was angry at him. So, enter Cindy Fuller into my life. So, I saw Cindy 11 years ago for the first time. I'm pretty sure, the cool thing about it is when you realize you need help, you're not sugarcoating anything. I came right in and said, here it is. I just opened it right up. I don't want to waste any time. Let's get this ball rolling. She introduced me to God. I've always known God. I did. You know, I grew up Catholic. You know, there's different God. Same God, just a different way of talking to him. You know, basically you listen and you get yelled at and you feel good. You know, at least that was my experience. That might not have been everybody else's experience. And our experience was, once you do your confirmation, you're free. Move on. See you at Easter. So, Cindy introduced me to a little boy, little Jason. Little Jason at first didn't have a choice. She introduced me to brother Jesus. Jesus is my brother. You know, I mean, there's God, there's Jesus. Everybody holds him in different light. For me, it works out best that we're buds. You know, so I had to go through different paths along the way. I would love to tell you that things moved quickly. They did not. Every door opened up another door. Every door that opened up a window, and a window to a new building. I had to go back and forth to some family members, and I did. I went to family, Brooklyn Mama, Uncle Joey. Why didn't you take me? I didn't want to be in Georgia. I didn't want to be with my mother. My dad didn't want me with my mother. He spoke to you guys. Each one of them told me we didn't have a choice. No choice. My mother would have never allowed it. That was how they felt. That they battled back and forth between the two of them. Uncle Joe was the executor. Patty was also, you know, Uncle Joe was the executor because he was blood. Patty did everything. Patty was my Brooklyn mother. And Patty would have loved to have taken me. No blood relation. My mother hated Patty. Hated. Wait, no. I say hated as it's in past tense. Hates. Still to this day. Don't know why. I do know why, but it's another topic. But she didn't have a choice because there's no way, she had no standing rights. My father never had custody of me. There was no legalities back then. It was just, hey, look, remember, I'm packing my bags from the time I'm 2 years old. That's all it was. So there was no standing ground. My Uncle Joey and my Aunt Linda wanted to take me. There's no choice, which led us back into the anger. I'm not sure if you guys have ever thought in anger or looked in anger. When you're clear, when there's no anger, come back and, it felt good though to hear that they wanted me. And I didn't realize that I needed that to start the healing. Come back, find God, I go through some journaling. We go through lots of journaling. We go through 3 rounds of Rohans. I'm not sure if anybody's ever done that. No, not 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we go through it, all of it. And you should do it, by the way. And this isn't a PSA for that, but it's fabulous. I did some journeys. I had to go back again to New York. Really what it came down to is I just had to find my little person and tell him, brother, you did have a choice. We all have choices, even when you feel like you don't have a choice. We enter into agreements with choice. It might not be the choice that we want, but you have a choice. Anger is not strength. Never confuse it. I did for a long time. Choose to go into any situation with open heart and understand that you're strong in that. You're strong in your choice, even when you feel you don't have one. So, moral of the story, see Cindy once a week for 11 years. That's really all I got there. Feel the anger. You have to identify, one, that you are angry. I'm not saying you are angry. You have to understand what it is that's causing the anger. Take a look at it. You got to heal that. Understand, as we've established, anger is a language. Remember me and the baby. She couldn't use words, but we both understood anger. Understand that your anger is a language all unto itself. There's no reason to speak that. Speak French, speak Spanish, do something different. Get rid of that language. Guys, I appreciate you taking the time and letting me talk to you about this.
Thank you.
Real quick, we are all a happy family now.
Can anybody see themselves? Or someone that you know? All right. So, if you take away anything, please take away that anger is the greatest limitation to your spirit and to your soul. It does give you the myopic viewing point. It does not let you see anything else. Do take away that when you are speaking that language, no one understands you. All they know is that you're upset, but they cannot hear the words you're saying. They don't understand you. And take away that when you go back to that original moment in your lives and you figure out or pinpoint why you felt your choice was taken from you or what started that anger journey for you, heal that. Go within yourself and try to come to understanding that maybe it played in your soul's journey. Maybe it had a greater meaning than you can possibly understand right now. But work on that. And each one of us has a trigger point, don't we? Each one of us has a sensitivity area that we can be just as sweet and kind, and then you hit that trigger and we find our language, we find that anger. So we want to really come to the moment to understand that that does not create forward motion. That is your beautiful life force being magnetized, condensed, and focused into one message. And when you are angry, you are only saying, I am not getting what I want. That's all you're saying to the world. And no one can hear anything else. That's all you're saying. So, are you all ready to maybe let some of that go today?
Yes.
All right, so let's put our feet on the floor. And just feel the gratitude for the message. And see a beautiful column of light come over you. Just rest in that light. Just become aware of your own self, your own emotions, your own heart, your own body, your own thoughts. And for a moment, let's just go to that space of clarity. And I want want you to just gently, if you're willing, call forth the space of anger that you keep in reserve in your body. And let it become a ball of light in front of you. And just see that ball of light becoming clearer and clearer. And as you look at it, I want you just to feel the energy. Feel the tightness, the intensity. Feel that it can't see anyone else. And I want you to realize you keep that in your field for whatever reason. From your heart now, I would like for you to send a ray of love to that ball of anger with a simple message. I have choice. A ray of love to that ball of anger, I have choice. And as you do, see the ball begin to unwind, begin to soften. And if you're ready, you can ask your guardian angel to step forward and lift that ball right out of your energy field. And send it to the light. See beautiful love pouring over you now. And whatever the source of that anger was, you don't even have to identify it in this moment. Just send love to it. For the good of my soul, I have had experiences. And I send love to those experiences now. And Father, Mother God, we ask that you now move to create balance, harmony, acceptance, and peace within each one. I have choice. And I choose love. Whatever you choose, say it now. You can choose whatever you want. I choose love. And let the energy go out into your field. And take a breath. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. How's everybody doing? Take this energy with you. Let it become a part of you. And realize that the next time you're faced with a situation where you have no choice, go, wait a minute, I do. I always do. Maybe I'll ask my higher self what I should choose since I don't know. Maybe I do know what I need to choose. And in that moment, be empowered. Be empowered. And if you find yourself speaking that language, laugh for a minute and say, hey, nobody understands me. Because I'm just saying I'm mad. I'm saying this not my way. And be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle with yourselves. Can we try that?
Yes.
Do you all appreciate Jason's story?
Yes.
Can we say thank you, Jason?
Thank you, Jason.
Yay, God.